Dr. Dennis, okay na? Screen natin?
Yes po, Doc.
Alright, thank you.
Also, Doc, medyo muffled pa yung audio niyo po.
Audio.
Opo, medyo mahina siya.
So, relax ako din ang boses ko. Okay lang? Is this one better?
Parang the same pa rin po, Doc.
Sige, ganda. Ganda, ha? Alam mo,
Ito mas okay. I'm using my other phone.
Yes po, better po.
Okay, sorry. So iba yung nasa screen, iba yung sasalita. Pero well, para matuloy. Okay. So upper airway emergencies. So the most common would be foreign body aspirations, especially in children. The reason why children 1 to 3 years old they lack molars, the development of molars. And also, they have this less coordination of swallowing. Also, when you feed, if you have kids, if you have toddlers at home, they really don't concentrate on chewing their food. So they come running around. You can't let them sit at one place. So subo, takbo, ganyan. So yung mga iba, hindi ko concentrate na sa pagmuya or chewing. Most foreign body aspiration ingestions are vegetative matter. So it compromises 70% of airway foreign bodies. Some non-vegetative, it's usually coins. So we see patients at the emergency room, parents complain na lunok yung 5 pesos, 10 pesos. If it's 1 peso, it's a little bit small. So likely after some time, the esophageal actions of the esophageal actions would make the coin go to the stomach. So it's only we should only observe the patient. X-rays are helpful in diagnosing these kinds of problems. So there are 4 stages of foreign body ingestion or inhalation. First stage would be violent paroxysm of coughing. So the body would want to expel this foreign body or this food bolus. So you would observe the patient would be coughing. The patient would likely would likely gag to expel the foreign body. The second stage would be a symptomless interval, meaning the foreign body has already lodged itself to a good place where reflexes are not elicited. The third stage would be dysphagia, obstruction, and possibly perforations. Perforations are common in denture ingestion. You'd see some people if their dentures sa mga grandma, grandpa, there are hooks and possibly some dental indentations to make the dentures parang be fitting. So once going down, it can abrade or probably perforate the esophageal lining. May fourth stage na wala, babalikan natin yan. So for tracheal, not esophageal, tracheal foreign body, you could hear an audible slap, a palpable thud, meaning you can palpate the thud sa neck natin. Then there's an asthmatoid wheeze, either by inhalation or expiration. So bronchial foreign bodies would be more common in your left or right bronchus? Yes, masagot.
Right po.
Right main bronchus. These are the reasons for the more the why the right main bronchus is the more common site for foreign body locations. It's because the right main bronchus is greater in diameter. It has lesser angle of deviation, dire-diretso siya, and has a greater volume of inspired air. Kasi yung left mo goes to the heart, mas maliit siya and has a greater angle of deviation to the center. Okay. Ito yung iba. Sorry. Then, symptoms, again, would be coughing, choking, and asthmatoid wheeze. So, there are three kinds of obstruction. Yung bypass valve where, kumbaga, yung valve would let the air go in or go out. Then there's a check valve, meaning only air entry or air exit is allowed. Then there's this completely shut valve, which is an emergency. It's like a big rock na tinakpan yung butas. So it's a completely shut valve where air cannot go in or go out. So symptoms of esophageal foreign bodies. No? So vomiting naman, sinusuka niya, gusto nung ilabas ng esophagus yung foreign body. More common would be food bolus, coins. More common would be yung hard part ng balut. If you've eaten balut. Sometimes it's more common in elderly people where they're not able to chew the food properly. Tylism, meaning naglalaway sila because they'd like to expel the food particle. Common size of lodgement would be your level of the cricopharyngeus muscle, which is level 16. It's measured by by the tube. So cricopharyngeus is the point of entry to the esophagus. Then the second more common site would be by the indentation of the arch of the aorta or left main bronchus, which is at level 23 by your esophagus scope. Then the lesser esophageal strictures. Yung levels na to are measured during the operation. So, well, hindi naman tatanong sa inyo hindi pa naman tayo ENTs, but the residents must be careful on how deep the esophagoscope would be inserted. Then, what would you be requesting if you come across a person who complains of foreign body ingestion? So, aside from the history and PE, you would do radiographic evaluation. X-rays are helpful. CT scan, sometimes, but not always. Tapos the best is to diagnose better siguro sa history and PE. So sa exam you would be requesting soft tissue lateral X-ray of the neck and chest AP, anteroposterior, sometimes lateral also. Sa laryngotracheal area you'd be seeing subglottic narrowing. Those are percentages from the UPPGH studies. Then pag bronchial naman, sometimes it's normal, hindi nila nakikita depending on the radiolucency of the food. But coins, it's clearly seen. So there would be obstructive emphysema also sa lungs, atelectasis, meaning one either your left or right lung would be compromised. Then, pag esophageal, flat objects lie in a coronal plane on PA will have an X-ray on that. Then, parallel to the vertebrae on lateral. Sabihin, pag coronal plane, makita mo siyang bilog. Pag lateral naman, makita mo siya flat. Speaking in terms of coins. Okay. Pag may foreign body sa throat, sometimes it may be fish spines, tinik, chicken bone, or some remnants of medicines. So there's this what we call globus pharyngeus or something sticking in the throat, especially pag fish meal. It must be differentiated from superficial abrasion, which presents the same. So we have to do indirect laryngoscopy or video laryngoscopy to rule out. Kasi if you just let the patient go home because of reflux disease, then the patient would be again suffering more intensely. Baka lumala pa. So you should diagnosed it early. So during your second year, nag-PD2 tayo. So you know how to do mirror laryngoscopy. But sa ER, we do video laryngoscopy. So the patient would also see what his throat looks like. So there's sa emergency room, we do direct oral and pharyngeal mirror examination. So the more common sites for fishbone is in the base of the tongue or tonsils, sa pharyngeal mucosa. Tapos you have to be careful kasi sometimes the fishbone may be mistaken for a strand of saliva. So we ask them to swallow. Tapos ituro kung ano yung laterality. So more common foreign bodies are fish bones, bone spicules, sometimes pag matitigas sa toothbrush bristles, toothpicks, staples, opercula, yun yung cover ng snails. No? Those things can be found. Okay. Then more common sites would be tonsils, base of tongue. Direct inspection, then mirror laryngoscopy should be done. But mirror, in your case, sa ER, video laryngoscopy. It can either be rigid laryngoscopy, or if the diagnostic center is open, we can do flexible laryngoscopy. Just like what we have sa second floor ng hospital. Okay. So what to do? You should have topical anesthetic, a spray to have the gag reflex. To have a minimal gag reflex. Then forceps also to remove the foreign body. Sometimes we do it OR setting pag sobrang lala na hindi kaya ng patient. So we do it at an OR setting, especially pag esophagostomy, sa esophagus na punta. Pero sa pharynx, we can do it locally sa ER. Okay. Skip natin to. So causes. Personal factor, sa age, mostly in children. Psychotic factor, ganyan. Carelessness, hasty eating habits sa children. I said earlier, playing while eating. Then yung mga kids kasi, no, sometimes they put it sa mga oral face pa rin. Naglalagay sila ng mga toys sila sa mouth while running. Tapos giving candies or nuts, which are hard for children to eat. Sometimes it's too big, malaki, for them to swallow. Okay. So the rule is no nuts before age 5. Diba? So there's also this pre-existing narrowing esophagus due to stricture, spasm, or sometimes tumor. So again, you should know yung signs, choking, gagging, wheezing. They can pinpoint where the foreign body is located, either left, right, or during swallowing. There can be odynophagia, dysphagia, or aphasia. There's vomiting, drooling, retrosternal or substernal comfort, sometimes hematemesis. Then sa pulmonary symptoms, X-rays can be of good help. So, site of lodgement, upper third, cervical portion of the esophagus below the cricopharyngeus muscle. That's the most common type. Why? Because of the absence of weak peristaltic movement in this area. Okay. So here, radiolucent objects, may ilaw, nandyan, may be seen. Minsan, yung film ng medicines, yung what's this? Yung silver, and then can be seen also. Pag strictures, there's narrowing. If you can't see, what we can ask radiographically would be modified barium swallow. Okay? So aside from barium swallow, we include some cotton fibers to be included in the solution. So it would hang on the bone or spine so that we'd be visualizing it radiographically. Ayan. So sometimes wedding ring, yung tipong ayaw magpakita na tipong kinasal sila, tapos ito food bolus. Nakita during this one's X-ray, this one's during esophagoscopy. And dentures, nakita mo yung mga tooth indentations which can cause abrasion or sometimes perforation. So coins, 'di ba? On the lateral, flat siya. Tapos makita mo bilog on a coronal plane. So circular. Pag hindi naman ganun kalaki, no? We ask to have repeat X-ray 1 hour before the procedure, especially in children. No? Kasi sometimes, nung unang panahon, hindi nila nagagawa to. So when they do the esophagoscopy, they don't see a coin. So what they do is request an X-ray at the operating room already. So if it's already down the stomach, which is here, we just observe. You can send the patient home as long as he's not really that toxic. Pag food bolus, you can either pick it up, pag di nila matulak, pag di nila mahila, or you can push it down further to the esophagus to enter the stomach, which would be lysed by the enzymes of the stomach. Okay. So these are our treatment. Ito yung letter T dapat doon, sorry. So the treatment of choice would be endoscopic removal of the foreign body. So the patient would be intubated, then an esophagoscope would be inserted into the esophagus to retrieve the foreign body. So we also have some medical devices. So you might be asking, how would you remove a foreign body in the trachea? So there are equipment na forgot what it's called. Anyway, so there would be a window in place of the ET tube, endotracheal tube. So we would insert the device to the trachea, then provide airway, then open the window so that the equipment, retrieving equipment would be inserted. So if the patient's O2 saturation goes down a little, then we close the window, we retrieve the instrument, then close the window, let the patient breathe for a while. Once recovered, then we'll be doing it again. So this should be quick, and precise, so that the patient's recovery would be fast also. So upper airway, then lower airways, it may be life-threatening, pero emergency pa rin. But as medical students or medical practitioners, you should be aware on when to refer these patients or let the patients go home. Sorry. Okay. So if there's laryngeal or supraglottic foreign bodies, there would be sudden total or near total obstruction. So this is what we call catechoronary. So what would you be doing? So it's a very parang very common cause of death and choking. Pag tracheal or bronchial foreign bodies, first again yung choking episode followed by asymptomatic interval, then late symptoms arise. So predisposing factors we've talked about already sa pediatric group and sa geriatric group, sa mga mas matanda. Okay? So right, nandito, more greater diameter, more vertical, saka mas wide yung lumen. Position, sorry. Okay. Sa trachea, merong asthmatoid wheeze, may audible slap yung narinig ulit, palpatoritad when the foreign body moves during inspiration or expiration, you feel by hand the palpatoritad. Okay? Discussed earlier, emphysema, atelectasis, chest x-rays. So treatment of choice is endoscopic removal through scopes. Another would be pag completely shut down, you should do a tracheostomy or cricothyrotomy. Would be learning that on how to do it later. So pag hindi, refer nyo na. Refer natin sa sa ER so that they'd be double slide. Again, peanut sa main bronchus. So sa child, tas fishbone in the larynx. So ito yon on the left cursor. This one was the foreign body that was removed. Ayan. So okay. So other emergency airways. Other airway emergencies. In pediatrics, there would be two. One would be epiglottitis. No? So it's caused by H. influenza. Child becomes ill over several hours with high fever. There would be dysphagia and salivation, dialysm. There would be also stridor during inspiration. You should not look into the patient's mouth because you can be, if it's infective o kaya parang meron yung other diseases, you can be affected also. So what's the difference between epiglottitis and croup? Would anybody know? Okay. Sa epiglottitis, there would be thumbprint sign. Balik tayo ha. Saan ba yun? Ito. Thumbprint meaning your epiglottis is parang nakaganyan. So mas malaki. Sa crew, there would be steeple sign. Steeple sign meaning, alam mo yung steeple sa churches, yung airway niya, maga, so it would be pointy rather compared to, ito yung reddish na, ito yung reddish part. Ito naman, ang reddish part would be your epiglottis. Whereas this one, your trachea is the one's affected. But still, we should diagnose it correctly, and medications would be given through IV. Oral medications would probably help, but to a longer time. So you advise your patients to be admitted so that IV medications can be given. Okay. Head and neck infections. You remember the danger triangle from your forehead up to the up to your level of the canines. So these treatment na there may be retrograde infection sa mga sa mga veins, no? So the infections can spread to the orbit, the brainstem, and then the intestinum. So we have to treat these kinds of infections aggressively. So alin ba? So one is retropharyngeal abscess and one is parapharyngeal abscess. So retropharyngeal, there would be a bulge seen at the oropharynx. If you inspect the oral cavity. So these ones, common in infants and children, accumulation of pus between pharyngeal vertebral fascia. Sa parapharyngeal abscess naman, sa may throat, no? So trismus meaning mouth opening is compromised. We ask to diagnose it separately. We ask a CT scan of the neck and oral cavity with contrast to be done. So if ever we need to do an incision and drainage, then we know the area on what to do. There's also Ludwig's angina. It's a phlegmonous inflammation of the suprahyoid space, the floor ng mouth. Ito yung parang tinatawag natin parang bullfrog appearance. Yung neck nila medyo malaki talaga. So we admit these patients. We ask them to be admitted sa ICU. Tapos emergency tracheostomy can be done. So, or emergency intubation is on standby. So, we would be watching out for airway compromise. So, this one is the universal sign of choking. You had your Red Cross training during your first year? Remember this? So before helping, ano yung unang-unang tatanong sa pasyente, di ba? Hey, are you okay? Kasi baka nag-adjust lang siya ng collar, may nagkakamot ng konti, baka i-Heimlich nyo agad, then you might be charged with assault. So after asking, the patient would be, or let's say victim would be asking your help. Then you do the Heimlich maneuver. So the Heimlich sudden vigorous abdominal compression, yung fist nyo, cup it then, tapos sa diaphragm to elevate or help expel the food bolus or the foreign body that was ingested. Sa children, iba naman. Sa toddlers, sa kids, iba naman. So, if the child has signs of foreign body obstruction, so lay down, you do chest pumps, chest thrusts, then visualize, then pat at the back, then repeat kung ayaw talaga. So you should know. Sa children naman, same din, pero dapat sa yung area naman ng area ng thrust is a little bit below the rib cage at the xiphoid. Tapos same din. Okay. So are you choking? Are you okay? Ganun din sa may navel. Tapos you have to be fast and accurate on this one. All right. So sa tracheostomy naman. So okay. Still have time. Tracheotomy is a verb, no? Is the creation of a surgical opening into the trachea for purposes of ventilation. Tracheostomy is an area or noun, no? It refers to the opening or stoma, yung yung synonym. Tracheostomy tube is the tube that is placed into the opening. So, tracheostomy, matagal na nandyan. So, we'll just be passing on these. Tapos, history ng tracheostomy. May reference na it was done already before Christ, but hindi naman ganun ka intricate. So, they just want to put an airway. Then, yung wound healing nila hindi naman ganun kaganda. Ayan. Again, its history, the books or paperworks which describes the tracheostomy and ang nila illustrations before. So what you need to do to know. So it is done at the anterior neck. It's like a thyroidectomy, but to a lesser degree. You have to separate the muscles. Once the muscles are separated, you encounter the thyroid gland. Tapos some doctors just trace the thyroid gland to expose the trachea. The trachea. What I do is do an isthmosectomy. I separate the left and right thyroid lobes so that when the patient swallows, the tracheostomy tube wouldn't be coming in contact with the thyroid gland. But other doctors, okay na naman. Same function. So lateral on the lateral side. So you insert the tube on the second and third tracheal rings. So dito. So baba niya. So why? The indications would be to bypass upper airway obstruction in a surgical setting, to assist aspiration over prolonged periods, because sometimes you'll be encountering patients who are intubated for 3 days, sometimes 28 days, sometimes longer. So the internal medicine people, the pulmonologists, would be the ones deciding if the pulmo doctor, internal medicine doctor, thinks that the patient would be needing ventilatory support for a longer period, then the patient might be referred to you for tracheostomy, less than 7 days. But sometimes we do have patients being intubated for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Parang they're giving the patient a fighting chance to be extubated and to breathe on her own, on his or her own. So in these cases, pag there's failed extubation, tas na-reintubate ulit, probably that's the time that they'd be thinking tracheostomy would be better. Again, to assist with clearance of lower respiratory infections for pulmonary toilet. Kung merong oral toilet sa ear cleaning, there's pulmonary toilet in which suction auscultations is done so that the patient can can breathe better. And also to prevent aspirations of oral gastric secretions when there's vocal cord paralysis or there's poor cough reflex. There's this tendency, there's this risk of developing aspiration pneumonia. So the balloon of the tracheostomy tube would be preventing for that to happen. So yung oral secretions, pag may subglottic suction, sorry. Wait. When the tube is here, yung secretions ng oral cavity sa nasal area would be pooling around here. Then the tracheostomy tube sometimes have a subglottic suction, which can suction the secretions coming from the nasal area and the oral from oral. Okay. Alright. So tracheostomy tubes. This is a pediatric tracheostomy tube, probably size 5. It has a balloon. Tapos adults naman, for more smaller children, there would be a cuff. Cuff meaning yung balloon na nandoon. Right? So, in infants, there would be air escape also, but you need a high flow ventilatory support for this one. Sa adults naman, it can be cuffed. Cuffed naman siya. Tapos cuffed and may hole for the patient to breathe yung sa nasal area. Tawag na fenestration. So what we use. Hello? Sorry. Can you still hear me?
Yes, Doc.
Alright, sorry. Nag-on yung microphone ko. Alright. So what we use, tracheostomy tube, size cuffed, meaning may balloon siya, and fenestrated. Pag walang fenestration, walang butas dyan. Sometimes you use that also for patients who are hooked to mechanical ventilators and have probably small chance of using a fenestrated tube. So this is the side. This is uncuffed. Nandyan, probably Traco brand. Pag fenestrations, there's a parang opening here para makabreathe yung patient from the lungs to the oral cavity. Sometimes malalaki yung butas, no? Sometimes maraming namang maliliit. So what I prefer, yung not pushing any brand, no? Mas maganda yung brand na ganito. Kasi pag malaki yung butas niya, sometimes the mucosa goes in there, then it's difficult for may subluxation of the mucosa. Then there's sometimes difficulty inserting the tube kasi nag-obstruct. Okay. There are three events of a tracheostomy. One's an emergency, one is emergent, one is elective. So emergency tracheostomy for foreign body obstruction, pag di siya makahinga, you do a cricothyrotomy then emergency tracheostomy, especially in motor vehicle accidents. Pag emergent, meaning bukas makalawa, next day you would be needing an emergent tracheostomy. Then elective ni schedule for stable patients. Okay. So different kinds of tracheostomy tubes. Some are silicone or hard plastics. When the tracheostomy tube has been there already been there for long, we can use a metal tracheostomy tube. Now there's also a cricothyrotomy set. Not all hospitals have these sets, no, but it's good to know how to do a cricothyrotomy. So I'll be teaching you the site later. Okay. If you palpate your your neck, you have a thyroid prominence. In female patients or in females, medyo wala to. So you palpate your thyroid cartilage, go down, you'll find the hump. Then you'd be palpating the cricoid cartilage or cricoid. After that, in between that, you'll find the groove. That's your cricothyroid membrane. Ayan, cricothyroid membrane. Sa taas yung hyoid bone, thyroid then cricoid. Sa cricoid, in between the thyroid and the cricoid is your cricothyroid membrane. That's the site where you'll be doing your cricothyrotomy. Okay? Pag tracheostomy, it's between the second and third tracheal rings. But this is already surgical. Pag non-surgical, you can incise. Yung nakita niyo yung naglalagay ng ballpen, well, di naman talaga ballpen yan. After incising with the blade or knife, you can insert your straw or anything that would make the opening more viable or would maintain the opening stable. Okay? So everybody palpated the cricothyroid membrane. So again, thyroid cartilage, cricoid cartilage. There's a space in between. That's a bloodless plane. So you have to have parang belief. You should believe in yourself that you can do it. You can save a life on knowing that and doing that. Okay. Pag emergency tracheostomy, the incision can be either horizontal or vertical. Vertical incisions are more I won't say easy, no, more anatomically helpful because you'll just be separating the left and right sides. Whereas pag horizontal, medyo a little bit tricky. So this is a tracheostomized patient. You see the metal tube na gamit natin. You should replace the tracheostomy tube every 3 months. 3 months. Because like any other foreign bodies, it can degrade. Parang the cup kasi is composed of parang rubber elements. So nagde-degrade din yan. It's made of oil. So sometimes maabot ng 6 months but the recommended period of replacement would be 3 months. Okay. Indications: upper airway obstructions with stridor, air hunger, retractions, OSA, severe OSA, especially bilateral vocal cord paralysis. And others would be prolonged intubation, like we said earlier, ventilatory support, inability to intubate. Sometimes we do awake tracheostomies. No? When the person has a difficult airway, so we sedate the patient, then we do a quick tracheostomy. Sometimes we do it bedside pag emergency talaga. Okay. This one, you need to assess before doing a tracheostomy. That's post-operative, breathing. Make sure that the tracheostomy tube is inserted on the trachea, not elsewhere. So breathing would be kaya tayo nag-tracheostomy to assist in breathing eh. Okay? Trachothyrotomy, far preferable to emergent tracheostomy. Near the skin, less dissection. Tapos be careful lang not to do it more deep. So this is a trachothyrotomy set, which is sterile. Most we suggest emergency rooms have this to have this. But sabi nga, better have it and not need it eh. So when the patient arrives, then can't do a tracheostomy. This one you can do in 30 seconds. So elective tracheostomy. Tanan, you don't need to know. Nice to know na lang. Nice to know. Just pediatric, is more intricate. No? We don't tie, just incise the tracheal ring, left and right, then insert the tube. So different kinds of pediatric tracheostomy tubes. So equipment, tracheostomy care. Well, you'll be knowing this when you rotate with us during your clerkship. Ano yan? Ano yan? Okay na yan? Suctioning naman. Well, you don't need to know. May nakasama yan. Okay? Then I'll be sharing this one. So we put local anesthesia sa surgical site. Would be doing a vertical incision. So the patient's likely intubated, may cuff dito, then tape yan. We did this in another hospital sa Dr. Jose Enriquez Memorial Hospital. One of our residents did this. So vertical incision, you see after the skin, you'll see fat. We have to separate the fat left and right. Use cautery to control the bleeders. Separate left and right. You'd see the thyroid capsule. As skin muna. Dive deep. Then after this, you'd be seeing the muscles of the anterior neck. Separate it until you see the trachea. Okay? So using Sen we should
Doc, naglalag po
you should
kayo.
feel the cartilages. Make sure that what you're cutting is a cartilage. So sometimes we cut the cartilage parang binubutasan natin talaga to accommodate the tracheostomy tube. Okay? So you can see the ET tube, no? Suction it. Then coordinate because you can't insert the tracheostomy tube if the endotracheal tube is there. So suctioning of secretions. Then there's the airway. We at this point, sorry, we'll rewind. At this point, you won't be seeing the tube anymore. So hinila na niya. Then after dyan, wala na. Okay? That's the time you'd be inserting the tracheostomy tube. So you put it sideways at first, then twist it a little so that after inserting, nandun na siya. We remove the flange, then insert the non-penetrated tube. Then inflate the cuff. So that the balloon inside would be inflated also. Okay? So that's the tracheostomy. So it's not that hard. Okay? So we'll be presuming that no questions sa chat box? Wala?
No questions naman, Doc.
All right. Okay. So I hope you've learned. This is parang parang introduction sa sa surgical field ng 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 ENT. So if there are no questions, I'll be letting you go. You have a 1-hour break. I think there is a quiz yata sa Canvas. Hindi naman ganun kahirap yan. It will be open around 3 p.m. yata. So you can review. These slides are uploaded also. So wala namang problema. Okay? So thank you for listening. For those early people, thank you for being prompt. If there are no questions, again, I'll see you around campus.
Doc, is it okay if we ask for a copy of
Of
the
course.
video?
Sorry? The video?
Yes po.
Paano ko isasend to? Kanino? Ay, yung video na to, marami to sa YouTube.
Okay po.
Mas magaganda pa. This one
Thank
is
you
a
po,
3-minute video lang eh. Some video sa YouTube, may mga surgical comments pa. So wala problema. Hindi naman nalalayo yung ginagawa natin sa ginagawa nila. So it's still the same. But if you really want, message me 0922-827-3433. So 0922-827-3433. Message me your email address. I'll send it to you. Okay?
Thank you po, Doc.
All right. So you'll be staying? I'll be going na. It's almost 2 p.m. I wouldn't want to hold you further. Okay. Again, thank you for listening. I'll see you in school, campus. Bye.
Okay, Doc.